Howdy y'all, David Duford here at DeFord Insurance Group, where I train agents to become top producers selling things like final expense Medicare and annuities, both face-to-face and over the phone. And in this training, you're going to get a real-life example of the kind of constant, ongoing, daily training, Monday through Friday, that my agents and my agency receive on all sorts of things like mock presentation training for face-to-face or telesales for final expense, carrier training analysis, opportunities to practice your script, door knocking or appointment setting, and a whole lot more. If you like this kind of training, feel free to check out more about how my agency works, because you get 14 hours of this a week working in my agency. And to learn more about that, you can click the link above or below. That'll take you to the training. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this training and get something out of it. Y'all take care.
February 2nd, is it Groundhog Day? Groundhog Day, right? It's not raining outside. What does that mean? Does that mean we got more winter? What is that in Pennsylvania? I forget the name of that, all that stuff. Anyways, thank you for being here, guys. You're on our appointment setting and door knocking script training to help you get into more doors and close more of your prospects. 6 weeks of winter. He saw a shadow. Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry for you guys. It's cold down here, man. It's like 35, 40 degrees. Tennessee. It's crazy. Terrible. Anyways, we're here to practice our script, door knocking, appointment setting. This is your opportunity to practice and improve. As you could tell from my last training, I'm in a good mood. So I'm taking your appointment setting and door knocking attempts, scripts, training. So this is a great opportunity for me to nicely, constructively criticize him. So who wants to practice their door knock or appointment setting script? Anybody?
I'll go with door knock.
Yay, Omer. What's it down in Florida? Yeah. You down in the 50s? I heard it's cold down there.
54.
Oh, my God.
54. It's
horrible.
Freezing.
What is this?
It's freezing. And it's really windy. So
you got your down jacket on like, and no shorts on for sure.
Right? How did you know? Is my camera on? Hold on.
Terrible, just terrible. 50s, man.
Yeah. That's like 30s for you.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to bear it, man. Jeez.
It was 82 like, the day before yesterday.
Aren't you in like Fort Myers or something?
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, 50s in Fort Lauderdale. Good Lord.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's
crazy.
It is, but
global cooling.
Why not?
All right, so you're gonna knock my door. So
gets rid of all the unwanted invasive animals. Yeah, iguanas. So knock.
Pythons and what else is down there?
Iguanas. Iguanas is the big thing here.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. What are they like?
Iguanas.
Snatch children up or something like that?
No, they don't. They're actually vegetarians or vegans, whatever they are. But
okay.
They took off a kid's arm like years ago. God, yeah. Really? Anyway,
Jeez,
so
jungle down there.
Yeah, because when they're like 4 or 5 feet long and big, and you do want to stay away from them because when they get cornered, it's a natural defense mechanism, I suppose.
Bad things happen.
Just like anyone else. Yeah. So okay. This is no script. I'm actually in the car driving. Beautiful downtown Fort Lauderdale.
Doing 2 things at once. All right. So start knocking and I'll answer.
Yeah. All right. Knock, knock.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Duford. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Hey, not much. I'm Omar. Reason I'm here is you sent in this card requesting more information about the final expense program that's just newly released this year. Mm-hmm. And the reason I stopped by is just to go over this. They had me out here today, and I couldn't get you on the phone, so I just wanted to stop by and go over this. You have a few minutes, and we're going to just go over this, okay?
Can you just send me something in the mail to look at?
Well, I really can. I got to, I have a calendar, and your name is on my calendar, so I have to deliver this to you. It only takes a few minutes. So we can go over this, and then what you do with it is totally up to you. And I'll be out of your hair, and at least I can tick you off my list here, okay? Should we just go inside, or would you rather sit out in this 50-degree weather out here on the porch?
In the freeze to death, yeah. This is that life insurance information. I've already got life insurance. I'm fine.
Well, that's great. This is a program, and I can just go over it real quick. It just takes a few minutes. And if you like, I can review your policy and make sure that you actually have what they told you were told you had. And like I said, what you do with this information is totally up to you. Only take a few minutes. So we'll just go over here in the kitchen and go inside.
Okay, off script. All right, what do we think, guys? Comments from the audience. Good, bad, or ugly? Jim?
It didn't. Yeah. Hey, morning. It didn't. I felt like it didn't give you a reason as much to let him in. He was saying more so why he wanted to be let in. If that, like,
Yes.
I got you on my calendar. Like, I don't care what you got on the calendar.
So you're new, right, Jim?
Yes.
Okay, and that's cool. Don't get me wrong. This is what we all think originally, but what we teach here is you'll learn. What you hear at the door is not to be believed. It's a critical thing to understand. What we're hearing at the door is more of a guttural lizard brain defense mechanism. It comes out something different than actually is felt. So what we're rebutting against is not what is said as much as what the feeling underlying is. And typically the feeling of what we're hoping or what we're assuming we're hearing is there is just resistance to some stranger coming in or having to go through a sales presentation. So notice, Jim, in the rebuttal, what Omer does well is he says, hey, that's fine. He sells the appointment. He makes it quick and casual. It's no big deal. All I need is 5 minutes to show you how this works. What you do with it's up to you. If you like it, great. If not, I'll be out of your hair, and then closes. So now sometimes people do mean what they say. Okay. We're never going to get into those homes anyway. It's very unlikely, at least. But most of the time what people are experiencing is an emotional reaction. And we're rebutting to that likelihood that's what is actually going on. We don't know for sure. Okay. We never know. We can't ever believe anything anybody says. What they say is just a matter of interpretation. And we'll find out more as we kind of rebuttal and go forward. But this strategy, what it does is it addresses the underlying problem, the underlying resistance, and it gets us in the door anyway. Okay. So I get what you're saying, but people lie all the time. And that's the hardest thing for, at least for me, to accept is people just make stuff up. They get rid of it or to not deal with it. And they're not thinking logically. Like we have the luxury of sitting here and contemplating, what will we say in that situation? What would we do? What would we be thinking? And many times, and we're salespeople too, so we think differently than the average person. The average person doesn't think like us. They don't know our tricks, right? So we're a little bit more hypersensitive to it. But the average person's just reacting, and we know how they react. And it's an emotional resistance if there's a rebuttal most of the time. Does that make sense?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, Omar, go ahead.
Other than the printout that I have is, I have a couple of friends that have all the printouts punched in a folder, and then they go, I mean, the guy at the door or the woman at the door sees these 20, 30, 40 cards, 50 cards, whatever. And it says, I got all these people to see. All I got to do is, spend a few minutes with you. And then I'll be out of your hair, and I can just say that this file is closed and move on, stay out of trouble. And I mean, they make it sound like, yeah, the man got me out there.
Yeah.
And all I have to do is make sure that I present it to you, and you can do with it whatever you like, no problem. At least I know, and they know I was here and I presented this to you. I did my job.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good point. A couple of points here. Number one, tactically. There you go. Tactically. Showing them a big stack of people they got to see shows that you're in command, you're busy, that this is something that you're going to be in and out for, that you're just doing your job. And it shows that you're not like you're legit here because you got a lot of people to see. And it also is kind of a subtle way to say, hey, a lot of people are interested in this. Maybe you should consider this, right? But it shows that you're kind of like not desperate. And the other thing too, for your sake, Jem, just in understanding the scripting, one of the strategies we employ in the script is it's my job to deliver the information to you. A lot of our clients are blue collar. They worked for somebody else. They had a job and a wage, and everybody who works for somebody else has to do things that other people tell them to. They're used to that. They're accustomed to that. They don't have a lot of autonomy to think for themselves. So when you go in there and you say something like, hey, it's just my job to deliver this information, and you kind of have that demeanor like, hey, I'm just doing my job, people get that really quick. You know, hey, it's just my job. So they're less likely to judge you or to get mad at you when you say something like that. Hey, it's just my job. They make me do it. So there's a lowering of the defenses because of that, because they get it intuitively. They've understood it their whole lives because that's what they've been involved with.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no problem. So, yeah, Beto, ask the yes/no question. 100%. Yeah, you asked a yes/no question, Omar, at the beginning of that script. You said, "So can I come in?" or something along the lines of that. And you corrected that on the rebuttal. And did you guys see that, Beto? Did you see that? He was like, "You want to sit out here in a 50-degree weather? Can I come in?" So he made the switch up there, and so that was good. I would assume you probably acknowledged that, Omar, and then made the switch. So that was good. Let's see what else. Deborah says, my nightmare. I don't know what that means, but it's funny. Yeah, I'm just a local underwriter. It's my job to get you this information you requested. You requested, the emphasis you requested, right? Let's see. The only thing, Omar, I would say is, and you know, this is a fine point. If you made any adjustments, great. If you didn't, it's no big deal. I might just, at this point, just refine what you're saying to be a little bit more exact. In the sense of if you listen to the recording of this and you think about what you said, think about how can I compartmentalize what I said in less words to deliver the same point. That's the only little minor thing I said that I would kind of critique is you maybe had said, it's not that you said too much, but you said more than enough. Does that make sense to kind of get your point across? I think we want to say just as much as we need to and not a word more when it comes to the scripting. Okay. Beyond that, everything fundamentally was sound. We opened, we introduced ourselves. You told why you were there. They sent the card back. You told them the reason why you stopped by. You sold the appointment and you closed and you rebutted perfectly. Mary says, he called you Mr. DeFord. I've been taught to use first names and assume the person answering the door is the person on my card. Yeah, this is kind of a thing we go back and forth on. You know, I think it's going to be somewhat regional. I think it's safe to always say Mr. and last name. You'll be corrected if there's a problem with that. But it does show, I think, a sign of respect. And that to me, just being in the South, I think that's more of kind of a commonality. I'm sure that, but I think that's different in other areas. I did both and I never really noticed a difference, you know? And I was corrected rarely when I said Mr. Jones. That's my dad. You know, you can call me Bobby, right? So yeah, just kind of do with what you think of it. You know, I mean, a lot of it's going to just come down to your tonality, how you sound, how you kind of approach the person at the door. Are you making eye contact? You don't look like you're skittish, weirded out or anything like that, right? So as long as you have good body language, you make good connection, you sound like you're jovial and energetic and you got enthusiasm, like the Mr. DeFord David thing's forgivable, right? Does that make sense? Any other questions there? Yeah, that's fine, Beta. Just kind of try both and see how it works. Yeah, another thing Mary addressed is good too. We assume that you're who we want. If I got a female that answers the door and it's on my card, that's Mrs. Jones until she says otherwise, right? Bill?
Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up?
All right. So when you get the at the door, when you get the already have life insurance, do we do what Omar did? Just kind of, he just like went right through it. Just like, hey, that's fantastic, and then just went into his regular rebuttal.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't do anything different, you know, because it's just just not to be to believe. That's great. All I need is a few minutes to show you how this works. What you do with it's up to you. Now, Omar did kind of try to sell it a little bit more, and it's not wrong. I don't think it's necessary. Like, hey, I can show you the plans and make a comparison. You're selling the product prematurely in my mind there. It's just a minor error in my head. I'd rather just say, hey, great, because then my job will be that much faster. It just takes me 5 minutes to show you how this works based on what you requested. Look, what you do with this is up to you. If you like it, great. If not, you can kick me out. We'll still be friends. Makes sense. So can I come in?
Well, I'd like to say something. I think everybody needs to understand there are a lot of policies out there that were written where the client really has no clue what they bought. Number one, which is very sad because they bought GI, they could have qualified for something else, or they have an accidental death policy for $20, $30 a month for $50,000. It only pays if they die, if they get hit by a bus. So a lot of them don't have whole life insurance. And so it's really, if they have a policy, that's the best thing, because you can go in and review and add something or replace it.
We're not arguing with the merits of trying to get a better plan for the client as much as how do you address the rebuttal? Do you go into selling the product? Do you go into selling the perceived benefits or opportunities, or do you just treat it like any other objection and keep going?
It's just any other objection. It's good that they have it. That means they like it. They like the idea of having a policy. That's great, David, that you have something in place. Here, let's just go over what this is. It only take a few minutes, and it's totally up to you what you want to do with it. And let's just go inside because it's kind of cold today.
You could even say something like, hey, that's great, Mr. Jones. These plans are completely different than most others. All I need is 5 minutes to show you how these are different. What you do with the information is up to you. Can I come in? Like, you could do that and maybe kind of just whet their appetite a little bit. You don't want to tell them everything. That's, again, and I'm not saying Omar did that, but we just want to remember we're not selling the product at the door. We're trying to entice them for a reason to see us a little bit.
Even younger couples, 20s, 30s, and 40s, end up buying a different type of life policy, replacing policy, buying a new policy because of this living benefits, this new type of life insurance policy that exists, that didn't exist 10, 20 years ago, because it has living benefits like accelerated death benefits. And a lot of people will listen to it just because it's a new type of plan. Just wanted to share that. Thanks.
All right. A couple of questions here. Points brought up. Mary says, unless they look like they're 12. Yeah, right. They think they have whole life and they don't. Yeah. You can emphasize that you can do a free review of their current policy. Exactly. Good point, Omar. Yeah. Okay. I think at the end of the day, this is what I think. I think at the end of the day, after thousands and thousands of door knocks, people who are going to let me in are just the type of person that's accustomed to letting people in. Like, they're okay with it. They're okay with it. Or they let me in because they sent the card in and feel a sense of responsibility that they should follow through in their requests. And they're kind of, they're okay with that kind of conversation point. I don't think I've ever won anybody over. Maybe a handful of times where I tried to sell them at the door on getting me in. It's very rare. But the vast majority of the time, the way that you get them in to get you in the door is they got to be comfortable with you. Okay. They're not letting you in the door because of some perceived advantage they think they have with insurance. They really aren't letting you in the door because they're not comfortable with you or they're not comfortable with the process, right? Because you may have a better product, but if they don't feel good about you based off of this short-term interaction, they're not going to let you in the door. This is why we don't talk product at the door, because as much as they may say that, the truth is they just don't feel comfortable with you. And so you got to work on getting them to feel comfortable. And this is why we spend time selling the appointment, not the product. Does that make sense? Because ultimately it's you who sells the thing. And it's that connection that you make with the prospect that gets it done or not. Just because you work with a brand name company that everybody knows and loves doesn't mean they're going to do business with you. They're just going to think you're an asshole, right? And why would I do business with that guy? When doing mail-in leads, should you call before or just not? Yeah, both. You can, Lucas, I would recommend you show up at the door, introduce yourself with the card, just like what Omer did here. In this situation, there was no preset appointment. You can also preset appointments. And in all actuality, you should probably do both. Call on Mondays to set up appointments for Tuesday. Call on Wednesdays to set up on appointments for Thursday. And then door knock between those appointments that you have time to, okay? That's probably the best strategy to use. It's what we most commonly teach. Mary says, people who are out there doing door knocks right now, in this time of COVID, are you wearing a mask? Most are, or they're obviously could wear a mask. They're putting something on their ear, standing back, talking. So you're probably going to get in certain areas more pushback on the mask thing than others. I would say if you're in a metro environment, probably should always wear a mask, be safe, just kind of feel it out to start. Rural doesn't seem to be as big of a deal. At least that's been my experience talking with my reps. Small town America, that kind of thing. Okay. Cool. Nice job. Is there anybody else that wants to go? Okay, good, Lucas. Come on up. Come on up.
Hey, so I'm just gonna keep the script on the side in case I
Okay.
lose myself.
Are we knocking or are we calling?
I think we're just knocking because I'm just gonna knock.
Okay, when you're ready.
All right. So
I just say knock, knock when you're ready.
yeah, knock knock.
Hello.
Hi, Hi, Mr. Duford. It's Lucas Filiatro, and I'm coming to you today because of the green postcard you sent off in the mail a few weeks ago, requesting some information on our new state-regulated final expense program. The reason I'm calling is it's my job to deliver the information you requested, and wondered if you are free right now to talk about it. All I need is like 5 minutes to go over the program with you, and whatever you do with that information is up to you.
So can you like kind of give me a quote for what this runs, Lucas?
Right now, the quote will all depends on the conversation we're going to have together to understand who you are, what are your needs and everything. And so it's really better that we just, talk about this for 5 minutes. I just need 5 minutes to explain to you how everything works. And then you can make a decision, and whatever you choose to do is all up to you. Yeah,
it's just it's the middle of the month. I'm broke. I don't really have any money. I can't afford it.
It's all right, because all I need is 5 minutes to explain to you, and there is many opportunities to, get insurance next month or get billed next month. So, there is many opportunities that can happen. We just need to talk about it for 5 minutes, and whatever you choose to do is up to you. At least you will be able to, know your options, and maybe when you have some money, you can call me back.
Okay. All right. Off script. All right. Audience. What could we refine there? I'll start, Lucas. Close. When you rebuttal, close. Always ask to come inside or sit on the porch. Okay. So, and this is probably the most common mistake new agents make. It's okay, but it's imperative that every time you rebuttal, that a question of getting in the door always ends a rebuttal objection.
All right.
So if I say I don't have the money, hey, that's fine. I'm not here for any money. It's just my job to deliver the information. What you do with it's up to you. Would you like to sit on the porch or can I come in? So that would you like to sit on the porch or can I come in is the one thing that was missing there right at the end. And I think you might have done that at the other ones. I may be wrong though.
No, I didn't do it.
Okay. Yeah. So again, why do we need to do this? Because you're in command, you're controlling this, and your client has to know exactly what to do. Let me guys give you a perfect example. There's some windows. We bought this house like a year and a half ago, right? And there's some old windows in this house that's starting to kind of like get condensation built up. So it's kind of like fuzzy, So we called the glass company over here, and he showed us his prices, very affordable relative to this first quote we got. And I sat around and looked at my wife, and I just felt this kind of like discord in me, right? Like I'm like, I don't really want to spend the money, but I like my wife happy. What's more important? I know the answer to that every time. But I stalled there. Okay. I felt the stalling thing. And if you don't, and what did the rep did not ask me for the sale. Okay. Gets me mad every time I think about this. He didn't even ask, what do you want to do? You want to do this? How's it sound? He didn't even say anything like that. And I think and I'm thinking about it in the moment, and I was thinking about it that moment, like, you just want to ask for sale. If he just asked me, I probably said, yeah, okay, let's do it. Like he didn't even, it's almost perceived as if he didn't have the confidence to ask. Like he just, you know, he had said, oh, you can price us around. You don't have to buy today. All this weasel stuff to get out of, you know, asking somebody to take action. But the point is, in this case, Lucas, like when the situation I was just in, some people, given the opportunity to hesitate, will hesitate if they're not all the way in. Like if they're 51, not doing this, and 49 doing it, they're going to just not do it. But by you asking, so you want to do this on the porch, or can I come in? You have forward momentum to push them across the finish line for that much more. Okay.
I see. Yeah.
So it's imperative we always close on the opening attempt and also on the rebuttals. Okay. So that's the big thing. Notice how we close too, Lucas. We close by saying, can I come in? It's better to say, it's not bad to say that, but it's better to say, should I take my shoes off before I come in? Or would you like to sit on the porch, or should I come in? Why is that good? Because it's an assumption that I'm coming in. I'm not asking, can I come in? That's a permission-based question. If I say, do I need to take my shoes off before I come in? They're letting me in. Like it's already assumed I'm coming, right? So it's a better way to ask to get in, because it yields you more momentum to push forward. Okay.
Very good.
So make those two minor changes are the only big things. Now, what you'll have happen, Lucas, of course. Yeah, but Bayo's got a good point. Remember to talk slower if they're 70 years old. And the way that you would get feedback on that, Lucas, and you've got obviously an accent, is just if you get a lot of people confused, they're listening to you or asking, what is this about again? It might be an accent or pacing thing, and you're nervous a little bit, I'm sure, so it's okay.
Of course. Yeah, I think when I'm in front of people, it's easier, like in the real thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not too concerned about that. And a lot of this will just resolve with reps. A lot of this will resolve with just repetitions of being at the door, et cetera. So I'm not too concerned about that. The big thing, though, is just close at the end of every rebuttal, and close with a yes or an assumptive approach. Other than that, I mean, fundamentally, you're opening, you're selling the appointment, all of that was fine. You'll iron this out again with practice for the next couple of days, and then when you go out and start working leads, you know, you'll just get naturally better. So I'm not too concerned. So like next time, if you want to do this again, I'll kind of pay more attention to the fine tuning stuff, because you got the base down pretty well. Make sure you're closing, and then we'll fine tune some of the stuff, and just kind of like I told Omer, like the next step for him, he's got everything good. Just kind of smooth it down, and that just comes with repetition.
Of course. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good job. All right, guys. Thank you to Lucas and Omer for playing agent, and let me us really review their mock presentations. If you want to do this, join the next call. We're going to be doing some training tomorrow. Again, the schedule for tomorrow, at 8, we're going to be doing a mock face-to-face presentation training. So the full presentation, or at least part of it. Come prepared to practice if you'd like to do that. At 9, we're going to do some case analysis training to kind of get you so accustomed to finding the best plan for your clients using the cheat sheet. At 10, we're going to do another one of these. So if you want to practice your appointment setting, your door knocking script, show up then. And then we've got an open mic Q&A that starts at 10:30. So if you just got random questions, good time to show up then. Okay. All right, guys, you're welcome, Deborah. Thank you for participating as well, and everybody else who did. And we'll see you tomorrow. If I can do anything, holler at me, call. I'll be around. Y'all have a good rest of the day.